Welcome back to another edition of From the East Side, TexAgs student podcast for students, by students, and even for former students. I am one of your co-hosts, Kay Nagley, alongside Luke Evangelist, and today we're talking about some Aggie baseball.
Whoa, Kay. That's your number one ranked Aggie baseball team. We're on campus seeing what A&M students think. Let's check it out.
Can you give me 3 words to describe this Aggie baseball team right now?
Definitely electric, and I'm gonna just do 2 and 1, locked in.
Oh yeah, best team ever.
Electric, championship, and historic.
We go exceptional. I'm going to go with number 1. I know that's 2. And I'm going to go with driven.
I'll go best, and then I'm going to go dogs, and then I'm going to go, dang, that's another good word. I'm going to also go exceptional.
Exciting. Number 1. 2 words. Sorry. 2 words. The best.
What's your reaction to them being number 1 in the country?
Not surprised at all. I expect it.
It's well deserved, but the job ain't finished.
Exciting.
Kind of nerve-wracking. I hope we can stay there.
Yeah.
I honestly just wasn't surprised. I think we've been doing really good all season long. So, wasn't surprised. So.
I felt like they deserved it. I feel like, especially the way they played against Vanderbilt, the number 6 team in the country, I think that I would have been surprised if they weren't number 1.
I was like, about time. About time we got some recognition, you know what I mean? Horns down until the day I die, but yeah.
Have you heard of the song Rattling Bog?
I have.
And what would you rate it on a scale from 1 to 10?
11.
There you go.
10 out of 10.
Total 10 out of 10 for sure.
I'll have to go with 10. I mean, I would give it 11, but my coworker sings it all the time, so it's just always in my head.
Where have you heard Rattling Bog before?
Everywhere, every day.
Can you do the Rattling Bog?
I don't know if I could hear.
Oh.
Oh, the rattling bog. The rattling bog. Wait.
Is there a dance to it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know
What do you think was associated with it?
Oh, I thought it was like a hydration thing. Like people drink water to keep get a gallon a day.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know the dance. I know the game.
Okay,
The
can you describe the
hydration-
game real quick?
Trying to remember it. It's a little foggy, but every time I played it, I go around in a circle and eventually I get super hydrated. So
There you go.
There you go.
Are you familiar with Fungo Golf and their Aggie Baseball's Fungo Golf League?
Yeah.
Who do you think has the most wins?
Dang, that's a good question. Probably Jace.
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 Okay, I'm going to show you all these 2 gentlemen. I want you to tell me who you think has the higher GPA.
It's got to be the first guy.
Jackson Appel?
I'm going to go with the first guy.
Okay, why not the second guy, Hayden Schott?
Dude, I love the flow, but I can just tell you're not there in the classroom.
Dude, I feel like they're both tied. I feel like they're both academic weapons at the end of the day.
Definitely the first guy. Him right there.
Jackson Appel?
Jackson Appel has a higher.
So
GPA.
you're saying Hayden Schott is not smart.
Hayden Schott, no, he's more of like an on the field kind of guy.
What is it about the second guy that you don't think he's smart?
I don't know. He got long hair. He kind of looks like a player to me.
Yeah, what if I told you he got a buzz cut? Would that change your mind?
I don't know. I'm not a fan of buzz cuts.
If Jace Lavalette did not play baseball, what do you think he would do for a living?
Probably like sell cars.
Probably golf.
Just go like salesman. I feel like he would be like a good salesman. I feel like he's got the character for it.
What do I think he would do? Probably like a lawyer. I'd say that.
We're back inside talking Aggie baseball with Cade Squared, 2 pitchers who want absolutely nothing to do with this A&M lineup right now. 2 years ago, they were saying don't rank us. Now they're saying rank us number 1. And for the first time since 2016, the number 1 team in the country resides at Bluebell Park. Cades, give us your thoughts on this incredible week for Aggie baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else you can say other than just wow, because the team that they just played coming in here and then to sweep them was just insane. I mean, the atmosphere was insane. It was just a great weekend all in all. And, yeah, I mean, if that doesn't get you excited for the rest of the season, then I don't know what will.
Yeah.
I mean, that was an unbelievable performance against Vanderbilt. I mean, it was what a number 1 team would do, and that's why we're the number 1 team now. So I mean, just incredible pitching, ridiculous hitting. Like, everybody got on base. You can't ask for, I mean, you really can't ask for any more than what the Aggies just did.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, just to sweep Vanderbilt nonetheless, but the scores that they also posted throughout the weekend. Which game, if you had to pick, impressed you the most?
Yeah.
You want to go first?
Not really, because that's like the hardest question y'all have asked me so
Yeah.
far. Because, I mean, I feel like each one got even more impressive. Just like, I don't know, the 17-0 is insane. But I think the most impressive thing was going down 4-0 in game 3 and then coming back and finishing the sweep. And, like, I mean, the score wasn't even close at the end.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I think that was probably the most impressive thing for me.
I think I would agree. I think game 3 was the most impressive just because you're riding high off those 2 shutouts in a row. You give up 4 quick ones early, and then you still come back and basically dominate the game after the second inning. And so that was, for me, the most impressive performance. But also, shout out to the boys in game 2. Like, I don't think we had a lot of hits, but we still scored 9 runs. I think they actually
They out-hit us.
Yeah, they did out-hit us. That's what I was going to say. They out-hit us that game, and we still won 9-0. So that's just like a testament to the approach at the plate and, playing like that little bit of small ball and just like getting yourself runs where you can rather than just like mashing the whole day.
Yeah, Chris Cortez named SEC co-pitcher of the week. Ryan Prager and Tanner Jones shutting the door in games 1 and 2. But if you had to pick one, who's your MVP pitcher of the week?
I think for me, Tanner Jones was probably the MVP just because you hadn't gotten that from him so far this year. But also, he carried on Prager saving the bullpen. Like, Prager and Jones, the fact that they only threw 5 pitchers is insane.
Yeah.
And, like, Jones, I think, probably was the most valuable one for me because I feel like that game went deeper, so for him being able to go deeper was probably most important.
Yeah.
That's really hard. I'll go Cortez just because he comes in, we're down, and then he basically just slams the door. 4.1 innings, like no runs, 8 strikeouts, only 1 walk. That's gonna get it done every single time. So, I would just say him just because you're in a position in that game where you're behind, and then he leaves the door open for you to just storm back and like take that game pretty easily.
Yeah, definitely. For the first time since 2016, Aggie baseball is number 1. Do you think there is any added pressure with the number next to it, or it's just another, all right, it's a ranking, let's move on?
I think there can be if you make it that way, but based off just the way that I think Schlossnagle has talked to them in the locker room, he's really instilled the fact of like it's all nameless. Yeah. And you'll hear athletes say that and they can really mean it or they're really not meaning it. But just listening to Jace say it yesterday after the post gaming, like I genuinely think they believe that, and I don't think they'll feel any pressure with that number 1 spot.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I think this group I think a lot of groups it would put that pressure on it if you're thinking about it, but I don't really think they care. I think they're just playing ball right now, and I think that any team that's just playing ball is always the best version of themselves because you're not thinking about any of that outside noise. And Brawny keeps saying it on the radio, like there's going to be some adversity at some point. You can't win every single game. We have a tough one this week against Alabama in Alabama. So I don't think that they really care. I think they just want to keep playing and keep winning just because it's fun and they're having fun doing it.
Yeah, a midweek game against Air Force could be a trap game after a huge weekend that they had, but A&M handled their business 15-5. Can y'all take us through that run rule?
I'll go. Well, just Air Force obviously came out like they were ready to play. They were ready to like take down the number 1 team. A lot of teams roll over after we get those like quick ones in the first inning. especially like, with Jace going absolutely like crazy yard.
Yeah.
That was super far.
I think
and
that
then
almost hit my
468.
car.
yeah, yeah. It almost
bounced
hit
off
you on
the windshield.
Wellborn. Yeah.
Past Wellborn during the game.
And yeah, that was ridiculous. But they come back and they get 3, they tie it up. But like, I mean, the boys just did what they've been doing all season. They put the foot on the gas, and the pitching, did enough to shut it down when you need them to shut it down. So, that's what you have to do in those midweek games. You just got to handle business.
Yeah.
All the antics of that game were super fun. Like, I'm not gonna lie. By the time we'd scored 15 runs, you'd think I would have gotten used to the cannon in left field shooting off, but no, I jumped every time.
That's awesome. So looking ahead to number 18 Alabama, a road series with the Tide, what major challenges does Alabama present? And I know recently knocked off previously number 1 ranked Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean, they're riding on a high, so I mean, they know that they can beat the number 1 team. Obviously, they did it last weekend. Suffered a setback last night, losing to UAB. But, yeah, I mean, I think that Zane Adams is a stud. So A&M's going to have their hands full with him.
Yeah.
I mean, they play really good ball at home. I mean, it's the SEC. Everybody plays good at home. But they especially have been playing really well at home. They've, found themselves climbing in the rankings. They're hot right now. It's always dangerous just to go up against a team that's hot like that, especially coming off a high of winning a home series against the number 1. You get another number 1 coming in this weekend. That's back-to-back weeks against number 1. It's a lot of fun for them, but I think we just have to go play our game, and that's ultimately what it comes down to.
Yeah, the Aggies are now just 1 game behind Arkansas in the SEC standings because of what Alabama did to them. A&M struggled on the road against Florida to start SEC play. So what do the Aggies need to do to avoid a similar road setback?
Just keep playing their game. I mean, I said it last week too, but it's literally true. What they're doing so far is what's working. So keep doing that, and they're not going to get the starting outings that they got this past week, where their first 2 starters go 7 innings. I mean, if
Maybe
they could, but
We'll take it.
I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised at this point. But yeah, just preserve the bullpen as much as possible, and I think they could be in a good position.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, just go over there. Quality starts from the starters. Limiting walks, limiting strikeouts offensively, just like what they've been doing. I mean, you can't really ask them to do much more than that. And I think it's just important to keep playing at a high level, even in games that maybe are tougher, even in a loss, if it's a good competitive loss, that's fine as well. Just make sure that you're, playing your game still, regardless if it's a win or a loss.
Yeah, we may be a little biased here, but I want to ask y'all definitively, is Texas A&M the best team in the country?
No doubt.
Okay.
100%. Yeah, easily.
You heard it here.
Easily.
Before we go, can we get both of y'all to sing Rattlinbog for 5 seconds each, 5-10
I don't know
seconds?
if I have.
Ready?
No, I'm literally not ready. I
3,
don't have it in my locker.
2, 1.
Oh, the rattling bog, down the valley, yo. All right, that's all I know.
There we go. Thank y'all for
That's why
that.
it's stuck in my head.
Perfect. We'll be back talking Aggies softball with Idani Cantu.
Aggie softball is absolutely rolling right now, winning 5 of 6 of its conference series, and we are going to sit down with TexAgs beat reporter Idani Cantu to talk about this very specific great softball team right now. So, for the first time ever, Texas A&M took a series at Alabama. How did they get it done this past weekend?
Well, I mean, starting in the beginning, the first game, they were shut out 2-0, but there did seem to be a little bit of struggle. But coming into the next 2 games, there was a lot of errors made on Alabama's side, and A&M just took advantage of that. I mean, as any team should. And I'm not sure if there was anything going on mentally with Alabama because, I mean, coming off of a win, a shutout win as that, it should be something that, it's a little bit, they feel more confident about it. But I think it's really nice that A&M is able to kind of overcome that and notice when the other team is weak and kind of bounce on top of that. But yeah, I mean, during the games, there was a 3-run homer from Kennedy Powell. It was her first of the season, and I know her teammates were really excited to see that from her. And having that 5-run 6th inning in the third game with Ayanna Coleman and Amari Harper with 2 RBIs, I think that really helped out, especially, I mean, in game 2, going 17-6 is kind of crazy. I mean, and as watching that, it's just like a wow, these girls are really looking for a win, and they're going to stop at nothing to make sure that that happens.
Yeah.
They've got Ole Miss up next. It's going to be at home, senior night, their final home series of the season. Which seniors have made the biggest impact on this team?
Well, it's really sad to see that it's already senior night. I feel like season just started. Yeah. Definitely, I think Rylan Wiggins. I mean, when she's either at second base or at shortstop, wherever Trisha Ford puts her, I mean, she has great fielding abilities. She's able to get really good stops and really great routine plays. You also have Trinity Cannon. I mean, there's not really much to say about her. I mean,
SEC player of the
she's
week,
incredible.
just casual.
Yeah.
And then Julia Cottrell, I feel like she's been such a great player defensively and offensively. I mean, there's only been probably 1 or 2 games where she hasn't been catcher, and then she's still able to come out hot in her batting. And she's just an overall great player, and it's kind of sad that they're graduating soon. But hey, I mean, that's just how it goes sometimes. And I mean, they're probably gonna. I don't know. That was it.
Yeah, I get you on that. It's crazy to think only 2 conference series do remain, just 1 at home and 1 away. I mean, I feel like the season is absolutely flown by. But they have won 5 of the 6 that they have played, which is beyond impressive for a second-year team under Trisha Ford. Is this where you expected them to be during the season? I don't know if you can say you expected them to win 5 of 6 so far, but it's a pretty good point to be at.
Mm-hmm. I really didn't know what to expect. I mean, this is Ford's second year, and I feel like usually in the beginning of a new coaching year, you're kind of like, okay, well, like we're gonna see what happens. We'll see what happens after the first year, and then we'll go off of there. I think the girls have done amazing. I think even in the non-conference games in the beginning of the season, they kind of showed what they're preparing for coming into conference, and they showed that they're a powerhouse team. I mean, every single girl has something that they can put forward and they kind of bring to the table. Even after a loss, like their sweep by LSU, they bounced back, and I mean, they won the series against Alabama, and that just shows that, you know, what's past is past, and they're just leaving that behind them and constantly working towards success.
That's awesome.
What have you seen from Trisha Ford leading the spirit and the energy and the camaraderie of this team?
What I really like when I'm talking about pitchers is that she lets the girls take a breather sometimes. She'll see like a little bit of struggle maybe, or maybe not even at struggle. She just knows when it's time to take a step back. And I think even when it comes to injury with some of the players, she kind of knows, like, she's very strategic with her placements, and she's able to make sure that, like, it takes a lot of work, and she has allowed the girls to show through their performance how much they've done over the season. And I think for it being year 2 for Ford, I think this is a great place to be at.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy to think pitching-wise. I mean, Emily Kennedy has obviously been so successful, but what about this entire staff makes them be successful in the circle?
I think they're able to have such a great lineup. So I believe it was in game 2, almost all of the girls came out. And it kind of just shows, like, hey, if you're not doing good, no worries. You got another one there to back you up, and so on and so forth. I believe Kennedy made an appearance in every game, and it's just able to show that they work off of each other. They're like, hey, like, if you're not able to get it, no worries, I'll come in. And they all have their own specialty pitch, which I do enjoy watching. And kind of with the opposing team, they don't really know what to expect. I mean, you see one pitcher and you're like, okay, well, she can do this, and then they throw in another one and another one. You're like, okay, well, now I don't know what to expect, because there's so many different pitchers with so many different specialties. And I think by being able to bounce off of each other, you know, it just makes a very good pitching staff for the Aggies.
Trisha Ford on the radio talked about bringing the 12th man inside of her team. How important was it for them to get it done on the road, and now they kind of get a reward with getting to go back home?
I think again, being 17-6, that's amazing to go against such powerful teams, and to know that they were so close to ranking in Bama. I mean, 12 and 13, it's kind of just like, okay, who's going to do better, who's going to be higher, or so on and so forth. I mean, it just shows that these girls are really not here to play, and they're here to take every game seriously. And it also shows that team bond that goes with the girls as well. I mean, the second that you see that one girl does something that maybe they haven't done, like Powell hitting her first home run of the season, her whole team was there to back her up, and they're just so supportive, and having love for their teammates kind of shows having a support system that's always going to stay with you. So whether you're home, whether you're away, you're still going to have that team with you. And especially knowing that the fans come too. I mean, in Alabama, there were a bunch of Aggies there watching. Yeah. So being able to have that and then bringing it home and having all of your fans there to watch the game, it's just something that's very heartwarming. And knowing that this is the last home series, it's kind of sad, but that it is what it is, and hopefully they're able to come out with a win.
Yeah, 6 out of 7 would be pretty nice. So just speaking on the diamond front, Aggie baseball has just plastered this song into our heads called Rattlin' Bog. So we were kind of thinking, if softball were to do something similar, what song they could do. Do you have any suggestions for what they could play after they scored a run?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of another like common Irish jig or something along those similar lines.
I feel like it's giving kind of the same vibe as like Cotton Eye Joe for some reason.
I could see that.
That could
that's a song that gets in your head. Like it's very persistent. You have any suggestions, Mr.
I think Cotton Eye Joe is incredible.
Joe? All right.
That definitely plays into like the A&M demographic for sure.
Miss Trisha Ford, if you hear this first, we have a suggestion for you. But thank you for sitting down with us, Idani.
Thank you.
Yeah, that'll do it for this episode of From the East Side. Thank you so much to everyone who's watching. And don't forget, ho ho the Rattlin' Bog, the bog down in the valley. We'll see you next week.